Lying ass motherfucker. You fucking lying.
True.
Everything about this story is just so messed up. Yo, it's Crush. Do you want to hear one of my creations?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go.
Allow degrees, these niggas, disease, don't speak.
Looks like we had some fun, right? Well, the fun was kind of sandwiched between the tragedy. There was always a little bit of an underlying panic during all this. But I'll get into that in just a moment.
My hoes that I left.
What does this look like to you? To me, it looks like my hopes and dreams of a stress-free, fun-filled weekend shattered. Although literally, it is a broken muffler. So let me get into why this broken muffler exists. Oh, God. So this whole story begins even before the convention began. This was for Anime Milwaukee 2019. So it starts off, I'm traveling with my friends Trinidaddy and Aaron, and we are passing through Chicago to pick up Sir Henry. And after we pick him up, we're just kind of driving down the road, and all of a sudden I start hitting speed bumps. Well, these speed bumps aren't colored any caution colors. Where I live, speed bumps are painted yellow for caution. These speed bumps were not painted anything, so I didn't even really see them. And I hit one of them, maybe going 40-ish miles per hour. Suddenly, my engine goes from sounding like this to sounding like this. And that really got me freaked out. So after I pull my car off to the side of the road, I contact AAA, and they come and get us, take us to a Goodyear. So at this Goodyear, you know, they just kind of checked out my car and everything, and I talked to them. I was like, hey, so, like, what's going on? Can you fix my car tonight? And they told me, well, we can look at your car tonight. However, we're not going to be able to fix it until tomorrow. This was 6 o'clock on Friday night. The night where I was supposed to be in Milwaukee, hanging out with friends, doing whatever. And I'm just, oh. Needless to say, I was kind of panicking just because I had a hotel room ready. We had 7 people staying with us. Like, it just altogether was this huge just panic going on in my head. So I started looking for rental cars. I even considered Uber, but I was like, I don't think Uber would be able to go out of state lines. And then Sir Henry, this genius man, turns to me and goes, yo, I got some bus tickets here for like $12, $13. We can go and catch a bus at 7:15, and it'll be like an hour drive. Like, we got this. So we get into the car, just shove our bags full of everything we can, ramen, snacks, blankets, pillows, everything we can, and we grab an Uber, make our way to the bus stop. I think at this point in the story, I should introduce the great and powerful Virgil Games. Well, he wasn't there with us. He was texting us the entire time. After I told him, you know, my car had broken down and we weren't sure how we were going to get to the hotel and things along those lines. Well, when we got to the bus station, I was like, hey, we should inform Virgil Games on what's going on. And Sir Henry's like, nah, fam, let's leave him in the dark. Like let's make it seem like we're staying in Chicago tonight, which was kind of messed up, honestly, because Virgil Games was staying with us that night. So after we get onto the bus, Sir Henry just cuts all connection with Virgil Games. He just kind of stops responding to phone calls and texts. We just kind of leave him in the dark. So our 1 hour bus ride was actually a 2-hour bus ride, because for some reason taking a bus is longer than taking a car. I don't know how that works. But anyway, so after we get into the bus station, I call up my buddy Dan, and he agrees to come and grab us just because I didn't want to spend money on another Uber. It was crazy. So Dan comes and grabs us, and we're trying to fit in his car, all of us. His car is a little small. It's a 2-door, and some of us are having to sit on each other's laps, and it's insane. We can barely fit. We're just praying to God the entire time that we don't get pulled over. But after we get to the con, we just check into our room and have a good weekend. There was one thing I did that made this convention way more difficult than it needed to be. So the first night, I got wasted, and I was lying down on the bed. I sat up to talk to someone or something, and there underneath me was my debit card. And I thought, I should probably put this somewhere safe. The next thing that I remember is just thinking. I had no visual, but just thinking, this is a really safe place. I should put this here. But according to my friend, who was watching me from across the room, I just shouted, "Hey, look, my debit card!" And then I chucked it across the room, screaming, "Yeah!" So that was a thing. That happened.
2 days later.
Eventually, on Sunday morning, I called Goodyear, and we had a discussion about my car. Well, they told me that it was going to take $800 to fix my car. I don't have $800. Nobody has $800. So, I spent the first 20 minutes of Sunday morning crying and calling my mom and begging her for help, and calling Goodyear and begging them for help. Like, it was not a good morning. But eventually my mom talked to them and got everything settled and taken care of. And now I'm in debt. Anyway, so we go back to the bus stop because we have to take the bus back to the Goodyear, all this and that. So we get to the bus stop, and I call Goodyear again, and I'm like, okay, so what's going on? Like, what's the deal? And they said, well, we got everything figured out with your mom. Everything's going to be paid for, but we can't finish your car until tomorrow. And I work tomorrow morning. I am a preschool teacher. I need to be at my job at 8 o'clock in the morning, teaching children. Tomorrow, when you are working on my car, how is this going to work? And they're like, well, tough titties, good luck. And I'm just, oh, okay. No, that isn't what they said. The Goodyear guys were actually really awesome, but, you can only do so much in one day. So I last minute call up my buddy Julio, and I'm like, yo, Julio, help me out, man. Like, you're the only person I know in Chicago who has a place to stay. Can we stay with you? And he's like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. So, yeah, we just got ready to go to Julio's house. Skipping over what happened at Julio's house, that's a different story for a different story. So Monday, we go to the Goodyear, and they're done getting my car fixed, all this good stuff. But we ended up staying there until like 4-ish, and we were able to leave just in time for Chicago traffic.
Ungodly traffic. Ungodly.
But that's a different story for another time. For now, see ya.
Did you think the great virtual gamers would shower? You do not know virtual games.
Jump over roller! Whoa, wait, stop! Sorry.
Just eat his ass.
Just with a nice teriyaki blade.
Just.
Yikes. It's okay.
If you want me, Kim,